Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International coin channel. Today it's going to be the 1989 US nickel. We have a few of them here, and then we have one from our neighboring country, Canada, up here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the differences between the Canadian nickel and the US nickel. But first, let's take a look at these ones over here. We have a P, a D, and an S, a Philadelphia, a Denver, and a San Francisco nickel over here. And I chose these ones because the mint marks were a little bit funny or sometimes fuzzy. So let's start with the P. The P for Philadelphia, and you see this one is filled in. And you see the filled in P's frequently with the 1989 nickels. It comes in a couple different kinds of P's. Some of them are kind of filled in. Some of them are like this. This is what a regular one would be, but you can see how it gets pretty thin there. And so when you take a look at the 1989s, look at the P's and D's on them, magnify them if you can, because you can get some real differences in the mint marks, including some that get hit so hard that the whole thing down here is dented. This is Jefferson facing to the left in a United States 5-cent coin. In God we trust in front of him, liberty behind him with a star, the year, the mint mark down here, and then at the very bottom the FS for Felix Schlag. This is a 5-gram coin. It's 21.2 millimeters in diameter, 1.75 millimeters thickness. It's about 75% copper, 25% nickel. And we see that it has a smooth edge here. If we get it onto the back, this is where you determine the value of nickels frequently, and that is whether they have the 5 full steps going down across here. And this one doesn't even have any full steps going all the way across Monticello, but it has some parts of some, and this is better than many nickels you'll see. A lot of times you can't see the steps at all. It says E pluribus unum at the top, United States of America at the bottom, 5 cents here in Monticello right here, which was Thomas Jefferson's home. The Philadelphia Mint in 1989, they made 899 million of these. They found one so far at a Mint State 68 that's worth $5,500, and it has full steps all the way across. They also made them at the Denver Mint in 1989, and this is one of those D's that kind of got punched into the coin a little bit. You also see that it looks like it has a little bit of a break on the bottom. This is not going to be worth anything, but this probably wasn't post-mint damage. It probably occurred when they put the mint mark on there. In 1989 at the Denver Mint, they made 571 million. They found one so far at a Mint State 67 with the full steps, and that's worth $1,000. Let's turn this one over and take a look and see if we see any steps on this one. On this side over here, you see a bunch of steps, but you just don't see any that go all the way across. And finally, they made them at the San Francisco Mint, and this is going to be the proof coin from 1989, and this is just a really, really nice proof coin. You can see it's a deep cameo proof. They made 3.2 million proof coins at the San Francisco Mint in 1989, and they found almost 1,000 of these already at a deep cameo proof 70, and they're worth about $60. This coin here is probably a proof 69 or proof 70, but there's no value in sending it in to get it graded when it costs $25 or $30 to get it graded. It says same E pluribus at the top, but when you want to see the full steps, there's what your full steps are going to look like. This goes all the way across from top to bottom, just very, very detailed. It looks a little fuzzy because of the proof finish on here. Those steps are very, very defined. Beginning of the video, we saw that Canadian 1989 coin, and this is the Canada 5 cents coin from 1989. Has a maple leaf on each side of the 5 cents. This is the back of the coin. Of course, the queen's going to be on the front until 2023, that is, and then I think we'll start seeing a king on the front. George Kruger Gray over here, this KG for the initials of the engraver of this coin. These coins have been touched up. They get touched up. They have to get touched up each year because you have to put a new year on them. And so the back of this coin was touched up or adjusted by Thomas Shingles. So this is George Kruger Gray, Thomas Shingles. You see this has a geared outer rim, and these are not dots. They actually connect right to the rim. And then if we flip it over to the front, we see that there are dots on the front, and there's Queen Elizabeth II. In the Arnold Machen portrait, it says Elizabeth II here, DG Regina here. This particular portrait was sized for the Canadian nickel by Walter Ott. So this is a Arnold Machen portrait with Walter Ott's adjustments to it. This coin again is a smooth edge coin. The Canadian nickels are very, very similar in size to the United States nickels. And if we put them up next to each other, we see the U.S. nickel, however, weighs more than the Canadian nickel. The United States nickel is 5 grams. The Canadian nickel is 4.54 grams. You can certainly tell if you put either one of these on a scale that there's a difference in weight. And that was really important for a long time when nickels were used in vending machines, to make sure that the nickels didn't weigh the same, so that the Canadian nickels did not get put in a vending machine. For the Canadian nickels in 1989, they made 141.4 million of these. The best ones they've found so far are uncirculated Mint State 66s, worth about $188 Canadian, or about $160, $160 plus dollars US. Much like the US coins, if you get a proof finish Canada coin, or what they call a proof light Canada coin, the value is not going to be too high. It's probably going to be around $23. And if you get a specimen, or essentially an untouched Canadian coin, the nickel is going to be worth about $20. So for Canadian nickels, the value is all in getting ones that are general circulation coins but have not been circulated. That's all we have today for our DC Coin World International Coin Sale 1989 Jefferson Nickel. We'd love to have you subscribe to the DC Coin World channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.